out there. I am Sabrina and Sabrina Walker Hernandez. I am the CEO and founder of Supporting World Hope, and I am going to bring to you my blog summary. I am doing my blog summary as I do every Thursday because I know as a nonprofit professional or board member giving back to the community, you just may not have the time to read a blog, even if it's a 3 to 4 minute blog. But if I do it via live and upload it to YouTube, you can plug it in and create your mobile university as you're driving from one place to the next. So I really do it in service to you, and I really encourage you to create a mobile university in your car or put on your headphones when you're walking or exercising, and really delve into these summaries. And they really don't last that long, no more than 15 minutes, right? Because that's the rule for engagement. I've been doing a lot of research, guys, so that I do know. And so today's blog was entitled 5 Tips to Reduce Grant Writing Stress. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. And I'm thinking some people may identify with this and some people may not. But grant writing was never fun for me. It was a necessary evil so that I could grow my organization, so I could hire a grant writer and move that task off my list immediately. And I'm not talking about corporate grants. Those are standard. As a matter of fact, if you hear that and you're new to the nonprofit world, don't sweat it. In a year or two, these will become standard for you as well. To be honest, I wrote those types of grants up until the day that I retired. What I'm talking about are the state and federal grants, and sometimes some of those foundation grants, right? So the research, the deadlines, the writing, the proofing, the webinars, they all gave me anxiety. No joy in that. So these are some of the practices I put in place that I learned that helped me reduce the stress for all grant application. That includes those corporate applications as well. So 1, create a calendar. Okay. And when I say create a calendar, guys, honestly, it doesn't even have to be a calendar. It could be an Excel document where you map out all the deadlines for yourself. But what I used at that time was actually I used Outlook Task. And so I would look and I would put the deadlines and on there, whether there were deadlines for the application, letters of support, if needed, deadlines for the final grant reports and all that if we got awarded, and so that became my calendar. And then actually I would put things ahead, like at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead, so that I can get my mind right, so I can work on that. But as I've grown a little bit, I have upgraded, and now I use Trello. And I really like Trello. Of course, I use it for my business and scheduling things, but it's a great project management tool that you can use if you have staff. And if you don't have staff, like a lot of new nonprofits may not have staff, you can use that. It's very similar to Task and Outlook to send yourself reminders via email. And you can, like I said, it's a great project manager tool. If you have a board member helping you with grant writing, a part of that project, you can bring them on board. And there's also a free all-in-one grants management system called Fluxx. Now, I have not used that yet, but I know that I'm not going to use that because I'm not grant writing. That was one of the things that I told myself once I got out of that, I don't have to grant write, although there's a lot of small business grants, so I might be chewing my words on that. But it's Fluxx, Fluxx, is the free all-in-one grant management system. Now it has some basic things for free that will get you through the process, and as you like the system and you become more sophisticated, of course you can upgrade that, but it's a great automation tool. And so that's how you can create a grant calendar. Okay, the next thing that I did was I maintained an e-file of all needed documents. So as soon as the audit was done, as soon as the 990 was done, the operating budget, all of that, I scanned it into my system, which was my email system in my computer. I scanned it, and it was easily accessible. And so in addition to that, you can create a boilerplate folder, and that includes like the organization history, clientele statistics, community data, leadership. When I say community data, it's usually a community profile, leadership bios, government funding, and any other standard grant responses. And when I'm talking about those grant responses, is traditionally examples would include statements about your organization's accomplishments, your evaluation, and your marketing response. And so I had those all housed in folders, boilerplate folder, finance folder, and then a grant folder with all those kinds of responses, and they were very easily accessible, and I would use that information over and over again instead of trying to develop it each time. And then the other thing is you need to immediately obtain information you need from others. And so for most applications, you're going to need some specific program information, or you're going to need some letters of support. And if these items are needed from others, you need to reach out to them first and provide a deadline. And I would like to provide a deadline at least 2 weeks before you actually needed the information, because we all know how it is. People get overwhelmed, or they forget, they have their other priorities. It's not a priority for them, it's a priority for you. So allow them space and grace with that window. And for internal information, you can use, like I said, the project management system to track receipt of that information. And again, that system is Trello, and Trello is free. And there's a lot of systems out there. I just happen to like that one. For external information, like letters of support, this is what I've learned for letters of support. This is the tip, and this is going to save you so much time and so much headache. You draft the letter of support, and you send that completed letter to the organization you need it from, along with the email asking them to make any needed changes, because you don't want to make the assumption that the letter is perfect, right? And once they do that, to place it on their letterhead and return it to you. Most people really appreciate that. Now, of course, this is all predicated on having a prior relationship with them. And it doesn't have to be a deep relationship. It could be, I saw this grant announcement, I want to apply for it. Let me pick up the phone. Let me call this potential partner, introduce myself, let them know that I'm researching it, and there may be some intent to imply, and this is what I'm thinking. Check and see if they would partner or provide a letter of support, and then let them know down the line you'll be presenting that to them. So it doesn't have to be a deep relationship, although those work well because you send it, and literally by the end of the day you have it back already signed. That's what that's been my experience. So you need to be out there networking and building these partnerships, right? So the other thing you're going to do is set aside time to write. You're going to designate some uninterrupted time to work on the grant application. Work from home, we're already used to that now that the pandemic has happened. Or if you're working in the office, you're going to share with your board and your staff your schedule, and notify them that you will not be responding to texts or phone calls during a specified time, right? I will put a sign on my door, working on a grant application, please do not interrupt. As a matter of fact, I had a Three Stooges sign, and it was on my door. Let them know, don't interrupt interrupt me. I would tell Gloria, who was kind of like my AA, my administrative assistant. I would say, Gloria, unless the building's burning down, don't interrupt me during this time. And she got it. So the other thing that I would say is create a schedule that's based on when writing comes easy for you. Even if that's at night, and that's what I would do sometimes because it just came easy. I'm a night owl and it came easier for me. And when you're less likely to be interrupted. But if you're trying to find work-life balance, of course, you do it during work hours, and you just make sure people know that you're not available. And then the final tip that really saved me on a number of days was have your postage and your packaging supplies on hand. I had them in the right hand side of my drawer. I had FedEx packets and FedEx slips, and that's what I use. We set up a FedEx account. I always use FedEx, and I always had it on hand. I knew exactly where the drop boxes were located, and I just preferred FedEx, and I used them because of their tracking system and the delivery with success. I went with others and the delivery success was not there, and that's not what I want to hear after you spent all that time on that grant application and you're really counting on it. So also always keep on hand paper clips, printing papers, and dividers, all the things that you may need to complete that grant application. But again, can't stress enough postage and packaging. Postage and packaging, it is key. And I didn't put this in here, but I'm gonna tell you this little tip as well. Don't give yourself at least a week on your calendar before the actual due date. So you got to trick yourself. Why? And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because if you wait till the day before and you send it FedEx, and FedEx will get it there. That's not the problem. But what I know is the copier will break down. You can't make the copies. You're going to wind up. We used to copy, what was that store? Copy Zone. You could go there and you'll quickly run off copies and spend that money. But now that's not even an option. So yeah, lie to yourself. Give yourself a week in advance. And sometimes now you may not have to do that because a lot of applications let you submit online. But the ones that I traditionally worked with, especially state applications and things like that, did not allow that. So those are the tips, and I encourage you to use them so that you can help in the reduction of stress when it comes to grant writing. And if you have any tips out there, please let me know in the comments, because people are actively writing grants right now and are being stressed out. So any tips will be very helpful. So if you are watching this on Facebook Live, leave your tips in a comment. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you subscribe. It's right down there. I use the opposite hand. I don't know which way to go. That way. You subscribe to the YouTube channel. These blog summaries go up every week. And if you're watching from LinkedIn, also put it in the comments. Share those stress releasing tips for all my seasoned grant writers out there, because people really need it. And especially if you're new to the grant writing world, don't make the mistakes that I made, and learn from it. So again, this is my blog summary, and I am Sabrina, and I am the founder and CEO of Supporting World Hope. And if you are new and this is the first video live that you watch, I encourage you to visit my website at www.supportingworldhope.com. I encourage you to visit the site because, one, my whole purpose is to support nonprofit professionals and board members, but particularly the CEOs and the founders and the executive directors out there. And I say that, and I put my money where my mouth is, and what that means is I do provide a lot of free services. So one is I have a fabulous Facebook group where I go live every Thursday at 6 o'clock, answering any questions that the group members may have. I do a live coaching, and you can join that group. It's Nonprofit Professionals with the S Exchange. I also have on my website a free resource library, and you can join my newsletter list and get access to that free resource library. Now, why do you want access to that free resource library? You want access because I have all types of sample documents up there. That's why you want access to it. And then finally, don't reinvent the wheel. And then finally, I do provide a free consultation. You can sign up for a free consultation for my website. And so that's why I'm here, and I would like to say thank you. And again, these blog summaries will be here weekly for you. Have a great, great day.